video, we're going to talk about galleries and the different gallery types because there are quite a few different types of galleries. So to show you like the main gallery types, I'm actually just going to go to the gallery page since I already have a regular gallery set up here. So if you were to add like a new gallery to this page, let's say this one didn't have one, what you want to do is come down to like this little button right here and click on gallery, and it will add a box for you to add images to. But since we already have a gallery here, we're just going to use this one as an example. So when you click on the gallery, you get all of these gallery settings on the side. So the first one is gallery images. This is where you can mess around, change out your images. If you click on one, you can delete it and remove it right here. You can kind of add SEO descriptions if you want. You click manage images. You'll be able to see all the images a little bit clearer. Right on this side, and you can kind of bulk get rid of images too if you want. So like you can hold shift, get rid of all of these and just click delete. If you want to add new images, you can just click on one and click the little arrow and it will bring it over. Just make sure you click save. So then once you have all of your gallery images set, what you want to do is come to gallery settings, and this is where you can mess around with the different types of galleries that Showit has. So the very first gallery that Showit has is called the simple gallery. It's going to kind of look funny because I have this stretch so big, but if we make it so we can see it all in one little section. This is more of like a classic slideshow gallery, basically. We can make it so that the size fills, we can make it so it contains, I usually just keep it on fill. We can make it so it auto advances, which means if we preview this, it's going to automatically switch through the photos. So right now it's like kind of going a little fast because we have it set to 3 seconds. My Wi-Fi is also being a little slow. But that's how that one kind of works. And then there's, you can switch it like transition. You can make it so it fades, slides, or does none. You can change when it auto advances. You can also change the transition time. So let's say you want it to take a lot longer to transition. You can play with that there. You can also make a tiled gallery, which is kind of the gallery I had set up. And this is basically just like a masonry gallery where it will kind of fit all of your images together. If you're really picky and want all of your images to look exactly the same, then you need to make sure when you add them to Showit, they're all the exact same size, if that makes sense. So they'll either all be square, all horizontal, all vertical, just make sure that they're the same exact size. Over here you can mess with it, so maybe you're like, oh, I would rather have 1 column or 2 columns. You can do that here. Just click enter and it will update. You can also change the padding, so maybe you're like, I want no padding, so you can just change it to 0 and it will do this. Maybe you want a lot of padding, so you would do 60 and it will do that. You can also kind of mess with some of this stuff if you want. I'm just going to kind of put it back how I had it. So for example, to do it the way I had it, I have 3 columns, 15 pixels of padding. And then of course I have it also set up on mobile a little bit different. So like my mobile version, I did 8 pixels of padding instead of 15 because 15 on here is a lot and it makes the images very small. So just keep that in mind when you're designing on desktop and mobile. The very last one, you can also do a sliding gallery. So this one looks a little bit different. Make it a little smaller. You'll see that with a sliding gallery, you can actually see what's coming before and after. So with this, you can change the space between, however many pixels you want that to be. You can make it auto advance, so that's like how often it switches through. If you click loop images, that means it'll be a never-ending gallery, which is what I usually suggest doing. Or else if someone's on your page too long, all of a sudden the page or the images will stop moving, which can be a little awkward. You can actually make it so it shows dots so someone can see how many photos are in here, and then they can click the dot actually and it will move them to like a specific photo, and you can kind of mess around with all of that here. Like you can change the dot color, you can change the selected dot color, size, space between, image offset, and even where the dots are. You can also customize your unselected image. So maybe you want your unselected image to be a lot more opaque. You can just do that, and all of a sudden it's like a lot more see-through or transparent. You can change it to even 20 if you wanted. You can also make it so that it's like a little blurry if you wanted. You can make it so that it's smaller too even. So let's say you're like, I want those to be tiny. You might not be able to see it unless it's more like this. But then as someone kind of cycles through these, let's set it to auto advance as an example. As it gets to the main featured image, it's going to get bigger from the smaller size. So there's like a lot of different things you can kind of mess around with. But yeah, so just really have fun with this. Kind of think about the way you want to portray your images or even like your portfolio and set it up that way. One thing to keep in mind too is that when someone is on your website, if they click on the image, it should usually, depending on which gallery type you have set, bring up the image in a bigger size. So if we like go here for an example, if someone clicks on it, it will bring it up bigger so they can see the photo larger. But